Today we are going to be talking about something extremely controversial. You're going to hate me for this video. Some people are going to agree with me. Who knows what's going to happen with this upload. Heard about this and have seen clips of Jillian Michaels versus body positivity people. And it's going to be really interesting for me as a fat person react to this. Used to be a part of the body positivity, health at every size community, sort of, but then I kind of grew up and I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I sometimes have struggled with my cortisol and sometimes have struggled with my blood pressure, and I got off that train real quick. Personally, I believe that there needs to be acceptance for everybody. There needs to be options for everybody when it comes to healthcare and Medicare and universal care in general. No one should be excluded. One should feel beautiful and confident within themselves. I also believe that clothing stores need to have maybe more options when it comes to plus size. I believe in those rights. Definitely. I believe that it is dangerous for us as a society to tell people that sometimes their weight could cause an issue with their health. It just is what it is. I don't believe in talking to a stranger. I would never say anything to a stranger about their weight. But if you think that when I was diagnosed with diabetes, my mom wasn't like, we need to get you healthy, you're crazy, because she loves me and she wants me to be healthy. So, I have lost some weight. I definitely feel more confident in myself than maybe when I was around 300 pounds. About saying the wrong thing is not going to stop me from doing this, because I feel like it's something that needs to be talked about. I feel like as a society, we should, one, accept that fat people deserve to take up space within the community and deserve to be respected. But I also think that health professionals and people might have it a little bit harder nowadays with all of the woke terminology, and walk this line of not wanting to be offensive, but also wanting to be honest. So with all that said, I'm going to react to Jillian Michaels, 1 versus 20, body positive activist. And I want to make it clear that I think Jillian Michaels is an abusive, awful person. I do not think she is a good person. I've seen Biggest Loser, who hasn't? And yeah, I think she is somewhat of a rage baiter. But from the clips, I'm afraid I might be on her side. So let's watch it together and let's decide who won this debate. We're going to be playing Stardew Valley because it is so long. So I need to be doing something with my hands. So let's game, let's react, chill back with a cup of tea and your little snack, and let's get into it.
Debaters, you ready to come at Jillian with your best arguments? All right, let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Jillian Michaels. I'm a fitness expert and a health advocate, and today I am surrounded by 20 body positivity activists. All right, my first surrounded claim is that obesity is not healthy, and pretending it is puts lives at risk.
Ooh, coming in strong. So obesity is not healthy, and pretending it is puts lives at risk. I wonder how they're going to say that obesity is healthy. Like, how are we going to say that it's peak health to be obese? I'm curious. I'm genuinely am, because I don't necessarily think it is, but I also don't look at like an obese person and go like they're dying either. Do you know what I mean? So I need some context there,
Nice to meet you.
I'm an eating disorder therapist. I'm going to do my best to not use the O word because I find it pretty offensive. So I'm going to use fat-bodied as we talk.
Okay.
Do you understand why?
If someone called me fat-bodied over obese, I would punch a hole in the wall. What do you mean? That feels way more offensive than... That feels What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Overweight and obese is literally just having too much body fat. It has nothing to do with the quality of the person.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Are we going to debate the claim?
Yeah, I just wanted to...
I kind of appreciate Jillian coming off the bat and saying that obese just means someone has too much body fat. It has nothing to do with the quality of the person. Like, I appreciate that. She's starting off strong with saying it doesn't make them more, it doesn't make them less. It's just the term of a situation that they're in. And, I appreciate that. I really don't want to be called fat-bodied when I walk into a doctor's office. I'm sorry. Fatty. Like, no.
Clarify, though, the
Are
language.
we going to pretend like I'm a 3 and you're my mommy, telling me how to talk?
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Snap back.
So
Snap
the claim
back.
that you're saying is that it is inherently unhealthy to live in a fat body.
It's inherently unhealthy to have excess body fat, yes. Lends itself to all-cause mortality across the board. Have you heard of something called adiposopathy?
Mm-hmm.
I sure haven't. I haven't. Oh, I would suck in this argument. I would suck. I'd be like, She'd bring out the scientific terminology and I'd be like, Like, all right.
Literally sick fat. And you understand how it works?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fully sick. Sick fat. I'm fully sick, cunt.
Tell me how it works.
So it's additional layer of fat in the stomach area.
No, that's not what it is. It works as follows. When we eat too much food that has energy that we're not utilizing, the body needs to put that energy somewhere, right?
Oh.
So it puts it in fat cells. So it puts it in.
I think I did something wrong. Oh, I skipped through the fucking intro accidentally. One of my buttons isn't working. I'm gonna have to play with keyboard. I hate playing Stardew with keyboard.
The issue is that once you can no longer recruit more fat cells, right, you get hypertrophy. So the fat cells start to expand. And this is exceptionally dangerous because what ends up happening is the blood vessels get outpaced. So the fat cells can't get oxygen and they start screaming, literally. And when they do, they release.
She said the fat cells start screaming, and I wonder if that's why, I have mental breakdowns and want to scream, because my fat cells are screaming. Ah! I wonder if that's what's going on with me. My fat cells are, screaming, yell, shout.
I want to pause.
No, of course you do want to pause. Okay. Because it's irrefutable. You don't even know what I'm talking about. So,
Jillian, okay, first of all, I don't appreciate the way that you're speaking to me right now. You called me out for just trying to understand the languaging and saying I was talking to a 3-year-old, but I felt like I was talking to you very respectfully. You're talking to me very disrespectfully right now.
Here's the thing.
And I want to...
I do think that this bitch was talking to her like a 3-year-old. I do also think that Jillian Michaels comes in hot, but I think that in other situations, Jillian Michaels has come in so hot that this feels very timid. So it's really hard, when that person who's usually really rude is toned it down. So you're oh, they're not being rude, but they are being kind of rude. So I do think she is being kind of rude, but it is one of those subjects. The subject of weight is it's kind of the same with finances to me. It's so touchy, that I feel no matter what angle you come from, when you're trying to say that this is bad and that this person needs to change, any topic where you're saying someone needs to change will always be extremely, extremely uncomfortable. So I feel even in situations where maybe Jillian's not even being rude, it's gonna feel rude. You know what I mean?
But what I understand is that
What's lipotoxicity?
I don't want to talk about... I am not... Okay, here, I'm going to say this straight out. I am not a medical...
I don't know what lipotoxicity is. Should we look it up? Let's look up. Let's look up lipotoxicity. Lipotoxicity is a Lipotoxicity is a metabolic syndrome resulting from the accumulation of excess lipids and a adipose tissues, causing their cellular dysfunction, chronic inflammation, and tissue death. It commonly affects the liver, the heart, skeletal muscles, and kidneys, contributing to diseases like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Key causes include obesity, high saturated fat intake, and insulin resistance. Well,
doctor, okay? So I'm not going to talk to you about medical diagnosis because that's outside my scope, and I'm fully willing. Hey, I'm fully willing to.
Okay, so she said she's not going to talk to her about medical stuff, but then why are you here, right? Because I feel like the claim is obesity is not healthy. So if you don't have like education within the medical field, this might not be the gig for you. This isn't your bag. Like, you're going to take an L on this one. You know what I mean? Like, if we're not here to talk about medical terms, then why are we here? Because the claim is obesity is not healthy. Health goes with, you know, medical stuff. So hop out the seat.
Term the O word.
So that's what you want to litigate?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the claim, though.
The idea that fat-bodied people are inherently unhealthy is, I believe, incorrect.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
There's a robust amount of data.
I'm not wrong.
Okay, so
Because
let
you
me
can't
finish
look-
the
you
thought.
can't look at-
Then let me finish.
I love that her statement back when I love, instead of citing evidence back, she goes, I'm not wrong. And girl, I get it. I've been there before. I've been there before when you really want to be right and you just go, I'm not wrong. I get it. Pop off.
Starts dumping macrophages in to try to clean it up.
But do you know what's
But they
even more
can't clean it
unhealthy
up.
is weight cycling. And as we talked about earlier, only except for your people who
the claim. If you want to talk about that claim, we can. The claim is.
So then what are
that
you supposed
having-
to do though? So let's say this person is in a fat body and they are in
Okay, so her claim is that being obese is healthier than weight cycling. I don't know about all that. I mean, look, I'm just a girl on the internet. I'm just a girl who scrolls through YouTube and finds weird shit like this. But I don't think that I don't think that subjecting, okay, let's say that you are unhappy being obese. I don't think that subjecting yourself to a lifetime obesity to avoid weight cycling is like the healthiest ideal to have if you're not happy in that state. I think maybe seeing someone who's an expert in making sure that you don't weight cycle is the healthiest thing to do in that state. But then again, you know, I also think that, like, especially in America where like there's no healthcare, and like no free healthcare, I think things like that are way easier said than done. You know what I mean? Like finding people to see with stuff like that, because that's like a luxury. Like, you know, unfortunately in America, that's a luxury, being able to see someone to help you not weight cycle. That feels like a luxury, which fucking sucks, you know? I think, I don't know if they're going to talk about it, but I think a lot of obese problems do have to do with not having universal health care, and it coming down to people having eating disorders and people, you know, struggling with addiction, not being able to pursue treatment for that due to the healthcare system within America.
What are they supposed to
Will
do?
be significantly more prone to all-cause mortality. For me,
Intentional weight loss fails 95 to 98% of the time.
Does
So
it?
what is the-
why though? You would probably.
There is no strong scientific evidence supporting a universal 95 to 98% failure rate. Okay, so no strong evidence for that. Research shows many people regain weight over time. I do know that. But outcomes vary depending on how success is defined. One comprehensive review published in American Psychologist. Am I stroking? I feel like I'm having a stroke over that word. Found that about 1/3 to 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost in long-term follow-ups. And it did not support a precise 95 to 98 failure figure. So she does have a point that people tend to gain more weight after they diet if they fall off their diet. But that those numbers could be higher or lower. There's no research on the exact numbers, which I find interesting, which makes me think that a lot of people did like a ChatGPT research for this. Like the activists feel like they went to ChatGPT for these answers, which really, really worries me, because I would love for someone to kick Jillian Michaels' ass in this, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Like, she does this for a career.
Hello. Hi.
I love how they run after these seats. I love seeing them like,
and I've known very many fat people. And I don't think any of us, the people that I know, I can only speak to the people that I know, I don't think any of us are pretending that we're okay with it. What I want to say here is I live with autoimmune disorders, I live with chronic illness, and I'm also neurodivergent. And this is, the body positivity movement has made it so that I can tolerate this life. I can find ways to thrive, even still. But I'm not pretending that this...
I think she's on the wrong side. She's basically admitting she hates her life. I don't think she's doing what she thinks she's doing. Some people need to be putting their flag up. Put the flag up, because she's trauma dumping, really.
Doesn't bother me. And by bother, I mean that it doesn't hurt to carry my weight. I'm willing to concede with you that carrying around extra weight is harder. It is. But
okay.
It must be done.
I don't know.
Why must it be done? If you're not happy with yourself, girl. Like, it's so hard, because I think that people should love themselves, right? Like, I think I'm cute. I think I'm pretty. You know, I like myself, but I can realize that I need to lose weight, right? Like, I need to take better care of myself. So I don't want people to think that that is the end-all be-all of someone. Absolutely freaking not. Absolutely not. But also, like... what do you mean you have to accept that? If you don't want to accept that, you don't have to accept that.
Because I've worked really hard to not have this.
What does that mean?
Like you beat yourself up in the gym or something?
No, I don't. That's not fun.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to understand what you mean.
What I mean is that I grew up with a number of undiagnosed conditions, and even I can think back to like middle school, and I couldn't keep up when the PE teacher would make us like run laps, and I'm like, this
girl, I get her. Those laps fucked me up. This was me with the laps. I remember one time I had to go to the toilet. I thought I was gonna vomit with those laps. I get it. I don't know where she's going with this, but I'm triggered. Like, I'm like a war veteran, like being flashed back because of this. Like, I get it, girl. I get it. Those laps killed me. I felt death upon me. I thought at 12 years old I was going to have a heart attack. I get you, Miss Thing.
me, and I didn't understand why. And I didn't understand why because I grew up with a single parent, undocumented single parent. We were...
Oh, don't out your mama like that.
...to the medical system that we had access to.
That's really sad.
I've done what I needed to do a number of times to try to lose weight.
What did you try? Tell me.
I've done I've worked out at the gym. I've tried to do Pilates. Even yoga.
Okay.
Even yoga hurts me.
Okay, so the exercise causes you pain.
The
due to
exercise
autoimmune
causes
condition. Okay, no problem.
Right.
I'm with you.
Dieting, for example.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think that food makes very much sense to me in my neurodivergent brain.
Oh,
This is why
okay.
mechanistic eating actually helps people who are neurodivergent, and the research supports that
Okay.
because it doesn't have to make sense to you.
Okay.
In other words, it's like you eat on these schedules and you eat these foods and you eat this much, hence the
I need to look that up. What is it called?
Even yoga hurts me.
Hold up. What's it called?
The exercise causes you pain.
The
due to
exercise
autoimmune
causes
condition. Okay, no problem.
Right.
I'm with you.
Dieting, for example.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think that food makes very much sense to me in my neurodivergent brain.
This is where mechanistic eating actually helps people who
Mechanistic eating. You know what I do like about Jillian in this is like she's bringing up things that could help. Ooh. She's bringing up things that could help them. Like, yeah, I get you. Look up mechanistic. I hope I'm not ruining that. Look up mechanistic eating. Like I'm vibing with her right now. I am, guys, and I hate that she's made me like her. I hate it. I hate it.
I try to hold on. There's a lot of other things to be concerned about. I'm also a social worker. I work with youth. There are a
Okay.
Let's go back to you. Yes.
I love that. Let's go
I'm
back
saying
to
for me,
you.
right? There are many things that I'm more concerned about
Okay.
than my weight. My body is not the most interesting thing
just
about
brought
me.
up your weight and said
She just said there's a lot of things that she's more concerned about than her weight. And I think that that's what it boils down to a lot of the time, isn't it? It boils down to that people just have a lot going on, right? I mean, society is set up to really stress you the hell out. I mean, I am so lucky in my life to have a partner who helps me and carries me throughout a lot of my struggles, but I couldn't imagine being a single mother or working, 2 or 3 jobs, or like I would probably be, a house, because the last thing I'm going to care about is my weight and that. So I totally understand where she is coming from in that. Abso-freaking-lutely. And I think that brings up a really good point of we are set up in this awful, fucked society that our health goes, something so important and that makes such a difference within leading a full life has to be put at the wayside and has to be put last on the list. It's so freaking messed up. So I do definitely think that she has a point there of like, sometimes what is someone to do when they have no time to cook, no time to work out? Like, I hear you, girl. I absolutely can see. I used to work 12-hour shifts as a apprentice, and I remember just going and getting like 2 sandwiches at the cafe down the road, one for lunch and one for dinner, and that was just what I did because 12-hour shifts, you go home, you take a bath, you unwind a little bit, and you're back at it again. Like I do think that is a huge freaking factor. Huge.
I've had numerous
I want
debates with
to-
people who are body positivity activists that try to tell me that they can be healthy at any size. And it's just not the case.
It's not
And
true.
I disagree with that.
I don't believe you can be healthy at any size. Are you going to look at me and tell me that Tammy from 1,000 Pound Sisters was healthy? Are you kidding me? Like, what are you talking about? No, that's absolutely untrue. And there's no truth behind that statement at all. No way. No freaking way. But then there's this problem of you're afraid you're going to be like, I'm afraid of recording this. I thought it was a good topic. I thought I would have a lot to say on it, and so I recorded it, but it is quite fearful to record something like this, because you don't want to feel like you're trying to hurt someone, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to feel like you're I don't know what you would call it, like red pilling someone, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want them to feel like you're Andrew Tating them and being like, nobody wants fat chicks, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that at all, you know? So, but also, there needs to be an element of, like, truth to this, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want my fucking friends to lie to me. I don't want my friends to, like, coddle me and lie to me. And I feel like, isn't that what you're doing when you're, like, you know, if my friend's, like, 300, 400 pounds, and they ask me, like, do you think I could be healthier? I'll be like, yeah. I don't think people should sit there and be like, fatty. Like, of course not.
What's fatty liver disease?
I know what fatty liver. I was a
What
clinical
is it?
dietitian in a
That's
hospital.
lipotoxicity.
Okay.
Okay? When fat is in the liver, when fat is in the heart, when fat gets deposited in the brain.
I had my gallbladders removed. And I'm so sorry. I'm just not used to playing Stardew with a keyboard. This is really messing up my mojo. I had my gallbladder taken out at one point. They think it was genetics because my grandpa and my mom had theirs taken out. But when they went in, they can see your liver on the way. Okay, story time. I went in for the ultrasound before I got my gallbladder taken, my gallbladder taken out. And the ultrasound person, they're not really supposed to say anything, right? They're not supposed to tell you anything. But the guy closed the door and sat down, and he was like, do you have a drinking problem? And I was like, no. And he was like, no, you can be honest. Do you have a drinking problem? And I'm like, no, I never drink. And that is honestly God honest truth. Like, I never, ever drink. It makes me feel just really nauseous. I just don't get what everyone else gets from it, you know? I'm just like, oh, I need to vomit. Like, well, why I'm, you know, it's not my vibe. And so it was like, your liver tells me otherwise. Like, this dude was not believing me that I didn't drink. I go in for the surgery. I'm like, fucking, I'm out of it. I'm on morphine galore. And the doctor comes in, and it was honestly so funny because he goes, you know, you have a bad liver, and it's either from drinking or from weight. And I went, well, I don't drink. I literally went like that. I went, well, I don't drink, so it can only be because I'm a fatty. So she's right. Like, being fat is not good for you. It's just not. Like, at the end of the day, like, this isn't, honestly, I'm just going to be real with y'all. This is an insane discussion to have, to say that obesity doesn't cause issues. It literally does. You know? I'm not even 30. I'm not even 29. I'm 28 years old. And I've dealt with these things, and I'm trying to reverse them, but they're very, very real. And, like, genetics does play a part a little bit, and I was not given the genetics lottery. Who is given the genetics lottery? But at the end of the day, she's not wrong. Like, right? Like, I don't think the way she goes about weight loss, or at least the way she did in The Biggest Loser, is fair or helpful in any way. But to try and argue medical facts is just like, I feel like people are arguing whether the sky is blue, you know? It feels all very weird to me.
Built environment, things like your stress levels, socioeconomic status.
Okay.
So here's the thing. A person who's fat or lives in a larger body, we can't take away that person has probably experienced higher stress levels their whole life from experiencing marginalization.
I think that people are mixing up the claim. The claim is obesity is not healthy, and pretending puts life at risk. And then everyone's claim is why it's okay to be fat. I don't think it's wrong to be fat. I don't think it's wrong to be fat. But that's not the claim. And I think that people came in with strong arguments in a sense of the system sets people up to fail. Absolutely. The system sets people up to be fat and then doesn't accept fat people. Abso-fucking-lutely. But that's not the claim here. And it's starting to piss me off. The claim is obesity is not healthy. Why has no one fought that claim clearly?
Confused. Are you suggesting these are the reasons people become overweight?
No, I'm suggesting that a person could be in a larger body and be perfectly healthy based on
Do
their
you realize
lab,
that
their
only
cholesterol.
7% of people who are classified as overweight or obese, call it whatever you guys feel comfortable with, only 7% are classified as healthy.
Say that was true. Say we knew for
I can go
certain.
grab a
Really?
picture for you right now if you
Okay.
want.
Say we knew for certain that it was.
Is that true? Fact check. One U.S. population study using strict metabolic criteria found that 6.8% of adults with obesity were metabolically healthy. However, other research shows higher estates when different definitions are used, which prevalence of metabolically healthy obesity ranging from 10 to 30%. Okay, so this study says 7%, but other studies say 10 to 30%. That's still way lower than I thought it would be. I'm not gonna lie, I'm shocked from that fact.
Food companies are one of the primary beneficiaries of the body positivity movement.
All right, if you want to be...
I never thought about it that way. Oh my God. Like, is anything real? Are we in the Matrix? I never thought about it that way. Her claim, Jillian's claim is large food companies are one of the primary beneficiaries of the body positivity movement. I never thought about it like that. Oh, I hate that this bitch is making points. Ugh!
How are you? I'm Chiffon.
Nice to meet you, Chiffon.
So, what are you classifying as large food companies?
Okay, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, General Mills.
Okay. Now, if they were beneficiaries and benefactoring and making all this money off of the body positivity movement, why is it that they spend billions on calorie counting apps, on a lot of things that we see in society as forcing the losing weight or talking about losing weight? Because that, to me...
I didn't know that they spent money on calorie apps. Wow, I'm figuring out a lot in this video that I did not know. And I feel like I'm out of my depth here because I didn't know any of that. I thought that they would want people to gain weight so that they continue, you know, I mean, sugar is an addiction, like cocaine or, you know, smoking, you know, it's very hard to quit. Like, so I would think that they would encourage that, but apparently they, you know, have apps and they're, you know, try to get people to lose weight, which doesn't really make sense to me, you know, but I've never really thought about how they could benefit from the body positivity movement until now. That makes so much sense. I cannot believe I never clocked that. Like, you know when you hear something and you're like, I've been being manipulated my whole life and it was so freaking easy to see and I never saw it. Like, that's where I am right now. Like, how did I never see it? You know? Oh my God. But yeah, I'm very interested to hear how they would benefit from people losing weight for sure.
Doesn't make sense and doesn't correlate, but also people that are benefiting from this are the people in the body positivity movement themselves. A little bit about myself.
Wait, can I clarify one
please,
thing?
please.
I'm talking predominantly about finance.
Okay.
Sorry.
Perfect. Thank you. Even that, I still will say, so I come from the wedding industry. So I created the first publication in the world for plus-size brides. I've now...
What a queen. She did the first publication for plus-size brides. That's so awesome. What a baddie. That is so cool. I'd be like, my mom's a celebrity. If she was my mom, I'd be like, my mom's a celebrity. You know? That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, we can acknowledge that, you know, maybe our health isn't at peak being fat, but it doesn't mean it shouldn't take away from options and, just having the same benefits and privilege that everyone else does. 110%. No way.
Okay,
Yes.
so your argument is the wedding industry is the primary beneficiary?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's where my knowledge comes from.
Okay.
But the body positivity movement is really for us. We are the main, and I'm saying we because I'm a large body
I
person.
totally understand.
That's where it's
Can
really
I show
coming
you
from.
the ways
Please.
they're exploiting it?
Oh, please, please, please.
Okay, so there have been two really big exposés, one by the Washington Post and one by the Examiner. So they're coming at this from numerous angles.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is they've gone after a lot of the intuitive eating dietitians.
Okay.
So can I give you some statistics?
Please.
Okay. So Washington Post analyzed more than 6,000 social media posts by 68 registered dietitians with a combined reach of over 9 million followers. 40% of them were using the anti-diet language, right? Like food freedom, no food rules, ditch the diet, healthy in any size, so on and so forth. Very often not disclosing the fact.
I cannot get over the healthy at any size, because I'm like, every time that's said, I think about like 1,000-pound sisters, or I think about 600-pound people. Like, we can be protesting for equal rights and, have a community so that we don't feel so alone in what happens to bigger people in the world, but still recognize that there is no way you're healthy at every size. And I wonder if they would say health at every size if they saw Eugenia Cooney. Would these same people see Eugenia Cooney and say health at every size? No, they wouldn't. So why should they say health at every size for someone like Tammy or Amberlynn Reed or Foodie Beauty? Why then is it acceptable? It's just not true. It's not. And it sucks. It fucking does, because nobody wants to be told that they're unhealthy and need to change. Like I said, it's always a sensitive topic that should be handled with care, but it's also a lie.
That they were paid by the big food companies.
Okay.
Okay, so they're basically going after the intuitive eating dietitians. I can give you Abby Sharp.
That's okay though. But I want you to listen.
Okay,
because
yeah.
they are doing that.
Yes.
But that.
Okay, fact checked. A joint investigation by the Examination and the Washington Post reviewed over 6,000 Instagram and TikTok posts from 68 registered dietitian influencers and found that many had financial ties to major food and beverage companies. What? The report found instances where sponsored content was not clearly disclosed and where anti-diet messaging appeared alongside the industry-funded promotions. If I figure out Amy Sharp has done that, I would be disgusted. Because I used to really love Amy Sharp. And I thought Amy Sharp would be amazing for someone like Eugenia Cooney. But if this is the case, that is just so diabolically savage. That is like greed.
Don't
really
agree
is.
with you when they're
That's
using
fine.
your movement.
But do you, and I'm going to say this clearly and for right now, I don't care who uses my fucking movement. I want the movement to be there. And that right there, they can take it. It's marketing and sales 101. Of course they're going to use the fucking movement.
See, that's the thing that bothers me is she's like, I don't care who uses the movement. I just want the movement to be there. And I feel like it's like really, that's kind of maybe similar to like Lily Tino, right? Like you wouldn't say that about Lily Tino. I think a lot of trans people are extremely offended with the publicity that she brings to the trans community. Right? So I disagree with her there that I do think that it's important that the people that, we have advocating for the movements are good people, right? I don't think that we should just be like, yeah, no, I don't know. You don't care what anyone uses for the movement? No, I don't. No, I don't know about that one.
Positivity is feeding their profits. Will we see their profits reduce as this pendulum swing away from body positivity continues to go back to the, like I get asked all the time as the director of NAFA.
Okay, so this woman makes a really good point that I agree with. If body positivity benefits big corps, then what is going to happen now with the Ozempic trend? I mean, we all know celebrities look like they are severely malnourished. A lot of people are on Ozempic. Are they going to see a decline? And I am very excited to hear Jillian's answer, because I think that this lovely lady has a very good point. If they are benefiting from body positivity, surely that they have seen a downfall within their demographic or whatever, within their sales, since the whole Ozempic thing going on. So I'm excited because that's a good point, and I love a good point.
Positivity, DEI, and we're turning away from that, whatever. As we move away from that, are we going to see the profits?
I do highly agree with her that heroin chic is back in, thin is back in. I definitely believe the last 10 years it's definitely been curvy bodies are more in, the BBL is more in. But coming from someone who used to be a SW, I think that within my realm of work, I have always thought that any size, like I never have looked at myself and gone, I need to lose weight, because within that type of work, your clients hire you for a certain reason. So I was lucky enough to kind of feel very confident in myself a lot of the time, because they are looking for a bigger gal. But I think if you're someone who looks a lot at Instagram and who looks a lot, social media in general, you will definitely know that thinness is back in. But the last, 5 or 10 years before that, it was definitely more of a curvy body inspired. Definitely. I highly agree with this lady. Totally.
If these food industries drop.
Well, you are.
Why would you need to make food genetically addictive if body positivity can just sell that food? If you could just tell people, when you feel good in your body, you're going to eat all the Nabisco snacks that you want to, then why do we have to make them addictive?
They don't even want you to stop eating one chip. This is how incremental they are about this. They literally engineer. Just hear me out. They don't even want you to have to stop and take a drink of water when you're eating their chips. So they engineer how much fat is in your mouth in each bite. There are a team of multidisciplinary scientists that literally work around the clock, 24/7, day after day, year after year.
Their body positivity scientists.
No.
So this is the thing.
No, I'm saying
what you're describing is a misuse of.
I thought that there were just a bunch of people who say that tastes bomb. I thought it was a bunch of people going, yeah, that's it, sis. That's just the right amount of salt. That's just the right amount of sugar. Yum. I didn't know that they purposefully engineer. Oh, I'm learning a lot today. I just get my notepad out. I'm learning a lot today. I'm living in the Matrix. What is life? Yeah, I just thought it was a room full of people going, ooh, love. Not really.
Hi. I'm Summer. How are you?
Jillian, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so the body positive.
She's very pretty. She's very pretty.
actually got me out of
She's
my
so
eating
pretty.
disorder. And if that,
She has freckles, great hair, great. She's just very pretty.
that's okay, I would like to tell you a little bit about
Please,
it.
absolutely.
So growing up, I wasn't.
I don't know how to
fat.
do
I
this.
just have I have large breasts. I have got a condition basically. I know you're laughing.
I'm laughing because that would be my dream. That's the only reason I'm laughing. I was like, poor you, Summer. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, God.
not to try to invalidate how you feel.
That's okay. That's
Sorry,
okay.
go ahead.
So I've got a condition called macromastia. It means that my breasts will just continuously keep growing. So I had to deal with this like my whole childhood, and I got like picked on and bullied and stuff because I was 8 years old with like double Ds. So that's absolutely okay. I went to the doctors and they actually told me that I had to lose weight in order to get a reduction. At this point, I was actually a Scottish size 6, which is a UK size 2. So, like on the bottoms, just obviously.
That's insane that they said she had to lose weight and she's a size 2. That's insane. How much smaller do you want her to be? That's sad. I feel bad for her. Like, and her back probably hurts. Her back would kill.
Not on my top. So this actually drove me into an
I cannot fish with a keyboard. I give up. I give up fishing in this fucking game with a keyboard. Comment below what I'm doing wrong.
I started to starve myself and try and make myself thinner so that my breasts would get smaller, and that never ever happened. Like they just continuously, because it's obviously a condition, so they just kept getting bigger as I was getting smaller and smaller. And it wasn't until obviously the online platform made the body positivity movement more aware to me, and then that really helped me, and it's made me start eating more. It made me start posting more online about my body, and I just think that your claim's a little bit silly.
Can I give you some examples?
Of course, please.
So
She's so sweet too.
while
I do feel
intuitive
bad
eating
for
is
her.
actually not intended for people with eating disorders, I cannot tell you how many people have misinterpreted that. And I've ended up dealing with it personally for quite some time now. So for example,
Intuitive eating was not originally designed as a standalone clinical treatment for eating disorders, but its principles are often incorporated into the evidence-based care to help reduce rigid dieting and disordered eating patterns. It is typically used alongside medical and psychological treatment, not in isolation. That's very interesting. It'd be really interesting to see. Okay, so I see a lot of people who are just intuitive eating based, where they teach people how to intuitively eat. I wonder what other treatments, when they are booked and hired to help someone, are involved, like with the therapy and, other education. Like, I wonder how much of the intuitive eating is relied upon.
things like avoid diets where mechanistic eating is actually recommended for people with many different types. Even the women who started intuitive eating suggested that, like, hey, this is a goal, not a treatment plan. But when you've got, random people online who are, hey, just listen to your feelings of fullness. You can't do that when you're anorexic. Your body no longer recognizes those satiety cues.
She's right.
It absolutely shuts it down. And it's, what was it? Listen to your hunger. Like, you cannot do that if you have binge eating. And you're feeding a deeper hunger. It's the fundamental ways in which things like intuitive eating have been misrepresented by the masses. And of course, I understand what it was intended for, but if you think that the vast majority of these people posting on TikTok have read the frickin' guidelines of mechanistic eating, I think we're both dreaming.
No, I get that, but I think
that's really, really true. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone on TikTok. I struggle with agoraphobia. And I cannot tell you how many times I've gone on TikTok to find a community, and how many times people have said that they could cure my agoraphobia, not to me directly, but in posts. And they basically these clinic, like these people who think they know what they are talking about will pop up, and I'll get excited. I'll be like, this sounds great. This sounds easy to fix. And then I'll look and they're not qualified. You know, like I go on the website and they have to specify that they're not a qualified, psychologist or physician or anything of the sort. They're like a coach, and it just makes my eyes roll. It really does. And I remember one time actually reaching out to a coach, and she wanted to charge me $4,000. And I asked if I was able to do sessions instead because I would afford it more within sessions. And she said, no, like it's $4,000 up front. And she doesn't do any payment plans, as where I thought they were going to be like therapy sessions. And then I was going on her website and looking, and I'm not paying $4,000 for someone who's not qualified. And that has happened time and time again. And so I do think that TikTok is very much a dangerous place. And honestly, I don't always believe that people think that these people who are offering their help, I don't always think that they're evil or in the wrong, right? Like, I think that they genuinely believe that they are helping people. But that's a dangerous road to go down. You know what I mean? Because qualifications are important. Education is important. Okay, guys, that is where I'm going to leave it today. If you didn't know, my partner's sick, so I probably could sit here and watch all of this in one go, but she's got things to do. My partner can't leave the bed, so I got to take care of the animals and all that good stuff. So I'm leaving it here for now. I got too much on my plate to watch all of it, but if you do want a part 2, I will absolutely do it. I think everything I've said, I genuinely stand by. We got halfway through it, and I stand by, we can have a body positivity movement, but that shouldn't take away from health does matter, and we should encourage people to be healthy. But I do think it is a good movement, but I think like a lot of movements, sometimes it goes so far with its beliefs and its systems that it kind of turns itself into a little bit of a joke and a little bit of a mockery, and that really sucks. Positivity community, but the people we watch today, I don't think that the nuance is there enough, and I think that they want to be like, we're all healthy and we're all okay, leave us alone, but that just doesn't really, it doesn't work like that, really. And I really hate Jillian making me agree with her. But obviously, it's a community that I do believe should exist. But I do believe that there's nothing wrong with correcting a community for some toxicity, but still allowing it to be there and open and exist for others. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and like if you enjoy. Comment below if you disagree with me. Comment below if you found this boring, or if you really saw what I was trying to say and maybe even saw what Jillian was trying to say, or if you agree more with body positivity community. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.